Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Carragher reacts to Alexander Zinchenko display in Arsenal win. Carragher told Monday Night Football on Sky Sports that Alexander Zinchenko was his man of the match and the best player on the pitch during Arsenal's win over Manchester United on Sunday. The Gunners extended their lead at the top of the Premier League table back to 5 points after a dramatic 3-2 victory over Erik ten Hag's side at the Emirates. Eden Nketiah scored twice. Meanwhile, Rio Ferdinand suggested that Bukayo Saka had looked so scared during the game, and of course, Martin Odegaard is always there to pull the strings. But it seems that another player really caught Carragher's eye. The pundit felt that Arsenal winning the midfield battle was crucial to their win, and with that, the license Zinchenko is given is crucial to their success. Christian Eriksen and Scott McTominay were tasked with marking Odegaard and Granit Xhaka, and the runs that the Arsenal pair would make would leave space for Zinchenko to exploit. Carragher went on to compare the Ukrainian with a number 10 given that he almost has no defined role, despite lining up as a left back. He picked out one moment where he was roaming in the half space on the right of the pitch, and he wanted to acknowledge his performance on Monday. He said, "I just want to highlight this fella here, because he played a role in a lot of these clips and caused a big problem for the midfield. Zinchenko, I thought, was the best player on the pitch. For me, he was the man of the match." It has not been the easiest time for Zinchenko. He has had a couple of injuries which have limited his appearances, and of course, there are things going on in the world right now which are never going to be far away from his thoughts. But it does appear that he really has been a game-changing signing. His move cost the Gunners £32 million in the summer, and it does appear that he is proving to be worth every single penny. Neville suggests he changed his mind about Arsenal's Thomas Partey. Gary Neville has told Monday Night Football on Sky Sports that he has now changed his mind on which player would hurt Arsenal most if taken out of Mikel Arteta's side, with Thomas Partey now getting the nod for the pundit. It's remarkable just how impressive Arsenal have been, with brilliant performances all over the pitch, and it's particularly impressive given what many fans felt when Gabriel Jesus sustained a serious injury at the World Cup. Jesus appeared to be the final piece of the jigsaw for Arteta's side, but Eden Nketiah has stepped up in a big way this season, and with that, Neville no longer believes that Jesus is the pivotal man within the side. In fact, Neville suggested that it has been the performances of Partey which have caught his eye in recent times. He said, "We asked that question earlier on in terms of which player, if you took them out the Arsenal team, would do the most damage if they lost them, and you probably would have said Jesus a few weeks ago, but Nketiah has been unbelievable. If I looked at them now, I think I would say Partey, having watched them in the 3 games since Christmas. Honestly, in these 3 games I have seen live since Christmas, I just think he is holding a lot together in terms of the glue between the back 4 and Odegaard and the strikers." Partey, unsurprisingly, is on course to play more football this season than he has in either of his previous 2 campaigns at the Emirates. The 29-year-old has started 16 games this term. Last year, he managed 23 starts, and it was 18 the year before. Injuries have certainly been an issue since his £45 million move. He gives the team such a balance, providing the likes of Martin Odegaard, Granit Xhaka and even Oleksandr Zinchenko with license to get forward. They have midfielders who can come in, but as Neville suggests, none quite tick the same boxes as Partey, so losing him would be a major blow. Owen Hargreaves says Arsenal's Bukayo Saka really reminds him of Riyad Mahrez. Owen Hargreaves has told the Kelly and Wrighty show that Bukayo Saka is a very rare talent, as he compared the Arsenal star with Manchester City's Riyad Mahrez. Saka continues to shine for the Gunners. He has been a star player throughout his time in the first team at the Emirates, and unlike so many young players, his form has rarely dipped over several years. He has been inspired once again this season, and his strike against Manchester United on Sunday took his tally for the campaign to 7 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League. Not even Martin Odegaard has had a direct hand in more goals in the top flight this season, and you really could not argue with those who believe that Saka is one of the best talents in the world. Rio Ferdinand suggests that Saka had looked so scared during Sunday's game, and Hargreaves has now compared the 21-year-old with one of the best wingers the Premier League has had over the last decade. He said, "You know what I find surprising about him? When you look at young kids, when they play, usually it's the winger who are the flair players. They are always rushing, they are going a bit too quick. Bukayo is the opposite. He slows down in the key moments. He reminds me of Riyad Mahrez in a sense. He isn't just looking for a little moment, a little body shift. And that I find for a kid. What is he, 21? That is very rare." It's a huge compliment to put Saka in the same category as Mahrez. The Algerian has won 4 Premier League titles and he has scored 81 goals in the competition since joining Leicester City. He cost the citizens £60 million when he made the move. But for some Arsenal fans, Saka has surpassed that level already. He is more than 10 years younger than Mahrez, and he obviously began his top-flight career at a much earlier age. It's frightening to think about the level he could reach in the coming years. What is pleasing to see is that Arsenal appear to be building a team which he may never want to leave. Hargreaves says he's been blown away by the progress of Eden Nketiah. Owen Hargreaves has told the Kelly and Wright show that he has been blown away by how much progress Eden Nketiah has made, and suggested that his Arsenal teammates will now be looking at him in a different light. Nketiah has certainly silenced any doubts over how Arsenal would fare without Gabriel Jesus. The 23-year-old has scored 6 goals in 6 games since the domestic season resumed. His latest 2 goals came in the dramatic 3-2 win over Manchester United at the Emirates. His winners sent the ground into a frenzy, and it appears to have confirmed his status as a top striker in the Premier League. Few could have imagined just how good Nketiah would be this season. It appeared that he would need to leave Arsenal to secure any kind of regular game time this term. He did have to be patient, with Gabriel Jesus proving to be an outstanding signing, but he has taken his chance with both hands since Jesus has been sidelined with injury. It appears that it may not only be onlookers who have been surprised by Nketiah. Hargreaves has claimed that those alongside in the dressing room will also be looking at the youngster differently now that he has proved himself on such a stage. He said, "I think now his teammates are going to see him in a different light. As much as they probably love him and respect him, when you scored 2 goals against Manchester United like that, you put yourself in a different category. You are not an academy player anymore, you are an established player. When Gabriel Jesus comes back, you could probably flip a coin. Is he going to walk back into the side? I have been blown away by his progression." We should have known that Nketiah would find a different level this season. This Arsenal side is now littered with players who have made remarkable progress under Arteta. Aaron Ramsdale went from back-to-back relegations to a World Cup squad with England. Granit Xhaka has made one of the most incredible comebacks in Premier League history, and Martin Odegaard has got his previously stuttering career back on track. You would struggle to name a single prominent player within the Arsenal squad who has not improved under Arteta, so it makes perfect sense that Nketiah is now one of the most lethal strikers in the division. Jaime Carragher amazed by brilliant Arsenal star Martin Odegaard. Jaime Carragher told Monday Night Football on Sky Sports that Martin Odegaard deserves to win the Premier League Player of the Year award, even if he expects the sensational Arsenal star to be overlooked by his peers. Odegaard has found another level so far this season. The Norwegian went into this campaign having been made the permanent captain of Mikel Arteta's side, and he has relished the role. Odegaard has scored 8 goals in the Premier League, while he has provided 5 assists, and of course, he has played a pivotal role in guiding Arsenal to the top of the table. You can certainly not argue with those who believe the 24-year-old has been the best in the division this season. Nevertheless, Carragher is not entirely convinced that he will get the full credit he deserves. Carragher predicted on Monday that Erling Haaland will win the Player of the Year award, but he outlined why he believes that Odegaard should get the nod, as he also reflected on his performance in the dramatic win over Manchester United on Sunday. He said, "I think all the players will vote for Haaland. Odegaard at Arsenal has been absolutely sensational, but I just know what players are like. I have been in the dressing room and I just think Haaland has scored so many goals. He's been amazing. But I just think if Arsenal win the title, the role of Odegaard has been sensational. I think he is brilliant. He is the closest thing to De Bruyne. That player who every time he gets the ball you think something is going to happen. He was fantastic on Sunday." It's remarkable to think that the two best players in the Premier League this season are Norwegian, when you consider that they missed out on qualifying for the most recent World Cup. But Odegaard certainly deserves all of the plaudits coming his way. As Carragher suggests, he is as important to Mikel Arteta's side as Kevin De Bruyne has been to Manchester City. Incredibly, Arsenal paid an initial £30 million for Odegaard. That fee is looking like a complete bargain, and there is little reason why he cannot now improve further in the coming years. Certainly, Arsenal now appear to have everything in place to be a real force for years to come. Fabrizio Romano says Arsenal are one to watch in Moises Caicedo race. Another hour ticks by, and another new rumour around Arsenal and Chelsea added into the mix in the final week of the window. This time it comes in the form of Brighton's Moises Caicedo. The Ecuadorian is known to be a key target for Chelsea, with Graham Potter keen on reuniting with his former midfielder. However, a number of others are also keen. Liverpool have shown interest but deem Caicedo an expensive option at around £65 million. And yesterday on Twitter, Fabrizio Romano has claimed that Arsenal are also involved in the situation with Caicedo, insisting the Gunners are well informed on the Brighton star. Romano confirms in his tweet that Caicedo has now chosen a new agency as well. If a move is to happen, this could help accelerate things in the final week of the window. Arsenal and Chelsea have been involved in transfer tussles all winter. The big one came with Mykhailo Mudryk, with Chelsea eventually winning out in that one to pip the Gunners. Caicedo, it seems, is another name who could well have to pick of clubs, not just because he is a fine young midfielder, but more because it would appear to be some sort of revenge for the whole Mudryk situation. Arsenal do need another central midfielder and are being linked with a whole host of names. Caicedo is one they'd surely love to get, given his form and reputation in Brighton. A big fee is needed, but once again, this is a young player who fits the bill for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal revolution. Fabrizio Romano provides update on Arsenal's pursuit of Moussa Diaby. Fabrizio Romano reports that Arsenal think Bayer Leverkusen winger Moussa Diaby will become brilliant after he claims they have already held talks to sign him. The Gunners have already moved to bring in Leandro Trossard last week after they missed out on Mykhailo Mudryk to Chelsea. Mikel Arteta was in desperate need of attacking reinforcement after Gabriel Jesus' injury, and the Belgian certainly made an impression during his cameo display against Manchester United on Sunday. Despite the extra attacking depth Trossard will provide, the Spaniard will undoubtedly be keen to continue building a brilliant squad for the present and future. Arsenal have been linked with a move for French winger Diaby, with Sport 1 journalist Patrick Berger claiming the Gunners have already held preliminary talks with the Bundesliga outfit over a possible move. Of course, Arsenal won't be prioritizing another attacking signing after bringing in Trossard, but it seems they are convinced that Diaby will become a future star ahead of a possible summer swoop. Romano has told Give Me Sport that Leverkusen have no desire to sell the 23-year-old in January, but the transfer insider adds that Arsenal hold a long-standing interest in the Frenchman and are seemingly convinced that he will become a top player in the future. He said, Moussa Diaby is a player that Arsenal have been following for a long time and they know him very well. They are convinced of his potential, but at the same time, Bayer Leverkusen have no intention to sell the player in January unless they receive a really important bid. It seems highly unlikely that Arsenal will move for Diaby this month, but he is certainly one to watch ahead of the summer window. The Gunners have clearly admired the youngster for a long time, and he has been outstanding in Germany this season. Diaby has managed 6 goals and 3 assists from the left-hand side, but his price has skyrocketed as a result. Last summer, he was valued at around £55 million, but 90-minute reports that Leverkusen will be looking for a fee north of £88 million now, more than the fee Chelsea paid for Modric. It will be interesting to see if Arsenal still look at signing Diaby in a few months' time, especially after the arrival of Trossard. Nevertheless, the youngster has proven he is capable of playing across the front three, and it's clear that Arteta's men hold him in high regard. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news show, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.